So my first guest on today's show is the creative, innovative, risk-taking Steve Wozniak. Steve is the co-creator of Apple and is here to talk about his best friend and business partner, Steve Jobs, who has recently just died at the age of 56 from pancreatic cancer. So here he is now, Steve Wozniak.
Steve!
Woo, yeah.
I love you, Steve!
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. It's nice having you, and nice to meet you as well. So let's get straight down to it. How did you feel when you heard about the news of your best friend, Mr. Jobs?
Well, obviously it was tragic. He had been battling with cancer for over 2 years, and I guess all he could do in the end was fight. He had a wife and 4 children, so I think it would be hardest on them in order to get over what happened to him. But cancer takes a lot of lives each year, and there's nothing you can really do about it. But he was very accomplished in his career. He had done Apple with me for since high school, actually, and at the age of 56, as we are now. Well, I guess I am. I guess it's kind of sad. But he was very accomplished in the end, and he had done a lot for the company itself.
What are some of the limits that he had pushed in order to get Apple to where it is now?
Well, he's one of the most innovative men on the planet. He had over 100 inventions, big or small, and every single one, there was always someone somewhere talking about them. We had formed Apple Computer in 1976 in his parents' garage, and then Steve was one of the main contributors that actually made that happen. Apple, as big as it was today, is all because of him, and there's no other reason except that he was so driven and accomplished in his career. And then that was all before he had cancer. That he done all those kind of things, and then even after, when he found out that he had pancreatic cancer, it didn't change his work ethic, and he still went just as hard and really just did his best. And inventors of the future definitely have their work cut out for them.
What were some of the interests outside of the business world?
Well, everyone knows him as an inventor, and that's what he was. He loved to find out new things and see people holding the Apple device in the street. As you would think, that would come up a lot. He was never really wanted to just hang out. He always wanted to be doing something productive, and that's the kind of person he was. He was productive, and he always came up with something very new, and everybody loved it.
What were some personal qualities in Mr. Jobs that you think contributed the success in Apple?
Well, he's one of the richest men alive, but he still managed to stay modest towards me and the people that he loved. Some people would say he was the exact opposite, but I knew him as that way. He was also extremely driven, and even in his early career, when he was trying out professions such as engineering and video game engineering, he was always very distant from everybody, as you'd say, and he always came out with something good. Many people at the University of Wisconsin didn't really know him and didn't really recognize him or see him from anywhere else. So you would have thought, many people were like, well, he didn't have very many friends back then. That's because he was always in his room doing something very productive and always came out with something new.
In terms of products, which one of his inventions did you think was the best?
I never really actually asked him that question. He wasn't a very social person. But I'm guessing what he would say, one of his accomplishments would have been, was I remember when he was most excited when he invented the touch-based products, the iPod Touch. He was very accomplished when he saw that he could make a new background with his later inventions and be able to have the search and also the internet component within it. And yeah, so that was one of the main things I would have thought. And with this product, he had broken many records with it because it was one of the first touch-based products in the world.
I understand that he was a very giving man and he was always willing to give. And I also understand that he was helping out with some charities. Since he's not with us anymore, maybe you want to talk about some of the charities he was part of?
Well, thank you for bringing that up because obviously he isn't here anymore and he won't be able to talk about those kind of things. So one of the charities that he was part of was PETA, which is a organization for endangered animals and also animals habitats they want to maintain. he was very driven towards that as well. He was also part of a pancreatic study, so he definitely used the resources and all the capabilities that he was able to pursue, such as money and the people that he knew, in order to help out with those organizations, which really helped him a lot. So we want people to continue helping out with PETA and also their pancreatic studies.
So this will be the last question I'm going to ask you today. Is there anything else that we need to know about Mr. Jobs?
Well, nothing other than he was a great father, husband, and brother, and also a business partner towards me. And we all dearly miss him. And we're all sorry and hope that there's a cure found for pancreatic cancer.
Thank you for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Cool.